Hi, friends. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you joined from. Thank you for this opportunity. Started my meditation journey about 4+ years now through Buddha Seva organization. Um, it's a really a humble journey. It's a beautiful journey. So the topic today, relations as reflections. I was I heard this from some meditation session, Saturday master class through Buddha Siva like a few years ago. And then I really found interest. Like, what is this? It's truly understanding these mirrors. The word itself is so catchy. First of all, I thought, what mirrors? I never heard of this. So that's how it all started, and I kind of eh, you know understood. It took me a little bit to understand first, to comprehend how this really helps. So that's what I choose the topic as. I hope I'll share whatever I learned. Okay. um, so this Essene, seven Essene mirrors, which is actually a very ancient wisdom. Uh, Jewish spirituality, it started a very ancient one, which helps us to know more, um, to more about ourselves, to fill, to complete our consciousness for a conscious living, a situation or a people we interact with, the relations with the people we interact with, teaches always our inner state. Our outer relations are equal to, it's all the mirrors of our own inner state or inner thoughts, which creates the outer experience. Okay. So let me go to, so the it really, all of these mirrors really helps us to understand ourselves more better. And when we are aware of ourselves more, that's when we start transforming. So all these mirrors are works as tools for self-awareness and personal transformation. It reflecting different aspects of ourselves through our relationships with others or with situations, what we come across. So, so what are these relationships? Yeah. So this topic, as I mentioned, is it's very interested. I heard from someone, and I started looking into more and more this. What exactly these seven Essene mirrors, and how our relations really works as our reflection. Our reflection in others. So when I heard this, as I mentioned just now, our outer relationships or outer experiences always mirrors of our own thoughts. And it helps all of these seven in. I will get into what are these mirrors. Today, I might go over two or three, or depending on the time. I'll go. This is, going through all of them. But once we understand the important mirrors, three or so, we really know what these mirrors are, and the next ones are easy or more similar, actually. See, so our outer relationship shapes are more, it's mirrors of our own inner state, which creates the outer experiences. So all of these seven mirrors actually help us, with the self-awareness. And through that self-awareness, we are able to fix our or fill our consciousness. It helps us toward moving to conscious living. So, what are these seven mirrors actually? So, the mirror of present moment, the mirror of judgment, mirror of childhood loss, mirror of past lives or forgotten love. These are different ways, a little variation, what the mirrors are called, but the essence is same again. In mirror of a relationship with our own parents, quest for darkness. It's like we see the life or our relationships as two sides of the coin. That's what this mirror is. And then self-perception, how we perceive about others is what we reflect actually, or we experience. So I'll try to share what I know or what I learned through these mirrors in my own life, or when I'm seeing now, ever since I started meditating. And having the understanding of these mirrors really helped me. Oh, this is what it is. It's not about the others, actually. It is about me. It is just me. It's my inner state is what being reflected. That's what the understanding I came. And it was easy, that awareness, only with the meditation, consistent meditation. I was like, okay, that awareness is coming, even if it is happened afterwards, or a challenging situation, or a relationship with someone. It all reflecting back to me, what is my inner state, what is about me that is telling through others, is what all of these mirrors about. Okay, let me go into the next one. So the first one, mirror of present moment awareness, the reflection of our present moment. So as I say here, others reflect who we are right now. Peace attracts peace. What exactly is it? The mirror of present moment is, this is a very simple concept, yet very powerful. What the present state, eh, when we experience with someone, or when we are in a situation, like for example, if you're anxious or if you're angry, everything around, or when you're talking, when you went somewhere, or when you're in a situation, it all feels very anxious, or frustration. Or when you're peaceful and calm, or happy inside, everything around, nothing irritates you. You might have seen this, came across, especially when, as a working mom, you are coming in the evening to home. And sometimes whatever might have happened, in the work, maybe, some the work or the manager or whatever the situation, if you come home, with a irritated, frustrated, or something you were not able to solve, or the decision you didn't make, or something irritated, somebody's words made you, and you're not calm inside yourself. You're, a lot of chaos, within yourself. And then you come home, and on your kitchen table, everything like spread out or something, or the kids came, and when the kids are little, they just come, they don't understand what your inner state is, or present moment, how you are, whether happy, peaceful, or like a shaken Coke bottle, whatever you are. Immediately, every single word they ask, or the first thing that irritates is, how come, so messy, everything has to wait, that for me to clean up and start everything, you just go on, at that time somebody just asks us something, that you just, you're like a shaken, Coke bottle, you just explode. you know so it's really not about what they asked, or how the situation is around, or how the house is very perfect or clean or anything. It's more that your inner state, if you are, coming with a peaceful mind, or a happy mind, joyous, and you're like a water bottle, not like a shaken, Coke bottle. So you just are calm, peaceful. Even if the everything is messy around, you just quickly change your outfit, and then you just get into that. You clean, and you don't complain. You just take care of it with joyfully, because you're already happy inside. So that's what it reflects back is, what your inner state is, what you are going through. Everything around looks very in the same state. One small one small story I want to share. A grandfather is sharing to asking his grandson, two wolves inside. Okay, the two wolves story. We every one of us has two wolves inside. One is the angry, frustrated, tense, that type of the wolf, and then the other one is a calm, happy, loving, compassionate. These two. When there is a kind of everything seeing, one wolf is everything seeing a negative, or every situation or everything is like doubt, negative or angry, so negative, and one is positive with all the good quality. When there is a fight between these two walls, which one which one do you think will win? You can type in chat, or you can say, Vanilla, you can tell me what they're typing, if anyone answers.
So maybe which is dominant, which is strong.
Hmm.
So
Any other?
I did not get any answers. That is my
Okay.
answer. So you can chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone just say, positive one, negative one, which one, or yeah.
The one you feed.
Yeah, yes. The one you send the energy more, it's not about positive or negative or which one. The one we are feeding, wherever our attention goes, that the energy flows, right? So whichever we are feeding more, that's what really is going to win. So it all depends. That this mirror really teaches us that whatever we feel in that present moment is what reflecting back to us through our situations, or through other people, or through others. It's not really about them, it is actually about us. When we understand this, when we understand that awareness, when we have that awareness, it's really easy to fix. You will be in that being state. That's only, even if I know about this, it's very, when you're living in that situation, it's hard to aware, to get that consciousness that it's about us. So that's only possible, with consistent meditation. That's what I realized. um, uh, when I didn't understand this for a long time, that it is about me, not others, actually. So let's move on to the very important mirror is a mirror of judgment. Okay, reflection of what we judge. Actually, we judge traits in others that we resist in ourselves. Non-judgment leads to inner peace. What annoys you most in others often points to something you judge in yourself. It's less about them and more about what we haven't made peace within. you know um Sometimes, we judge, we keep on judging always. It's like whether something about the discipline, or just a very simple one, or you're more planned and organized, and you expect the same thing with others, or like you immediately judge when an event or something not happened with that, because you're so you think that you're so perfect, they're not perfect. The judgment about others, or it could be very simple thing is like discipline or timely, something about used to bother me a lot. Being in going to Sai Center, it's more like, you don't want to talk in between, or it's always just not in the bhajan hall, you don't talk, you only talk outside. There are so many disciplines. I grew up in that environment from childhood, and it's like when I go to the other events, social events, I used to get uh, irritated, or frustrated about, because I used to judge, oh, these people don't have any discipline. but you don't have to always. But deep within, you think that you're perfect and you're, always on time, and it's okay to be, sometimes spontaneous or late, whatever might be. You don't have to keep on judging and make yourself. It's all about you. Then you will not enjoy. If you are, want to go and enjoy, let's not just the way it is, flow into that, rather than always keep on judging about that, what they're not. So you're resisting, and also sometimes you're resisting something. You're hard on yourself. Maybe sometimes it is not possible to be that perfect or that planned and that organized, but you're so hard, but you're not accepting that you're not that organized or planned in at times, sometimes. So so it gets us frustrated, for any slip up or even small ones. It's just makes us so okay. It's okay to be. We plan, we organize. Sometimes some things come up, and then it's okay not to feel bad. Okay, that's how we ease into that. For a long time, it really bothered me, until I understand it is about my own patience, especially even the time wise. I used to, when somebody is speaking, and I'm not the counter, or I'm not the one that who is watching the time, what the program has to go. I used to feel tensed, and like, oh my God, they're going so longer, so long. Oh, how come? Why? And that used to make me disturbed and not to pay attention to what the speaker is. I'm not responsible for keeping the time, but it's okay also. Why am I getting bothered? It's all my own inner resistance of that, who I want to be, and the judging is what makes it reflects back in your situations or in the people. So that and also, another thing, it's like small things we judge, but the longer, sometimes the emotional charge, it's always about the emotional charge we carrying that emotional charge in our own, in our consciousness, is what, even with especially the relationship with the spouse or something. We always say, maybe years ago they might be like that, and then whenever we keep on judging them, we have a whatever event that happened, 10 or 12, 15 years ago, and that memory made it's like a charge, and that comes out, because you keep on your feeling towards them. Our thoughts are electric and our feelings are magnetic. It's like, you as soon as you confront a situation with them, you go back, your emotional charge is going to go back 10 years ago, and because you have that judgment about them, and you think, even though they're changed in the course of time, you only go back because that emotional charge is so strong that we never changed that feeling about them. And that's why, even if it is correct also, we reflect back, or they don't change also, because of your own reflection, your own feeling towards them is what makes it behave in such a way. So that I never used to accept this one, that it immediately, that only slowly, when I started deep down understanding that this judgment is what you see, the judgment is what is causing this, confronting this situation over and over. You have to see the things fresh, as if you're meeting that person for the first time. A lot of times we just carry that in our memory, in our subconscious memory, about that feeling about them. That's why the patterns also we form, like, we don't change our situation anymore, or our relationship with them. When we have that understanding about them, or if we are in the same level of consciousness, or when we understand about the other person, go back, without judging, we would probably, have behaved in the same way where they are coming from, actually. When we realize about them or deeper understanding about them, we don't judge. Or even if we judge at some point, we will change. We will change our feeling about them, and that's when our it will change the situation, or it will change the relationship with them. So this is really, really important. The judging, being non-judgmental, it gives peace to yourself and, to others that we are in the situations. And then the third mirror is a mirror of childhood loss. We notice, sometimes the qualities in others we once had or wish to have. So this is sometimes, we run into we have we see others, or we see in a situation that suddenly it comes back like, oh, I used to love this in my childhood. I used to do this a lot. And then all of a sudden it gives back, something that they're doing, or something with the relationship with them that reflects back our childhood that we have lost, that we used to be very creative, or maybe a painting, or maybe something that you used to do in your childhood, or you really the quality that you used to exhibit. You're always creative or doing something, and then you suddenly meet someone, and you see in them, and then it clicks it like, oh my God, I used to love to do this. How come in the course of our life, just carried away with raising kids, especially moms, about I can speak about myself. I used to love doing jump rope a lot when I was a kid, and I can always do that. But in the course of time, I completely forgot about what I love. Um, uh, and then when I came into one of my friend, a primary physician, and also she's a coach, fitness coach, and we just used to go to the parks and do this, and how to be being active, and and we were in a picnic or something we were doing, and I really connected back. I was like, oh my God, how come I haven't done in this in years, in a lot of years. I completely lost, carried away with the life and everything. And then at that time, when that joy that brought me, when I saw her doing it, and that joy that brought me in, I got back again, doing that. And it's just something I lost, it came back to me. So it may not be, it could be a small thing, or it could be a really deep down, a big thing. But you just given up, because of some creative passion that you had in your childhood. So that also sometimes reflect back with the others. So all of these you connect back, it is always all of these mirrors, what they're showing is um, uh, completing who you are, or bringing back that consciousness, what you have lost over the course of a period. I'll go maybe one more, and then I'll go into meditation. So the mirror for reflection of the most forgotten love. This is also a little bit similar, but um, it's kind of the same way, a little bit in a more or less. But I'll try to explain this. So this is a little bit more deeper, deeper than the childhood loss. Encounters awaken deep memories. This mirror encounters awaken deep memories. This is when someone brings back feelings or passions you had once but buried. You know, it's also life actually brings it. It is like more carried away with a OCD, your obsessive compulsive disorder. Like you're always into we all have different type of, obsessive compulsive behaviors, or some men are just carried away their life, earning more money, or when it becomes like addiction, or not, earning money is good. I'm not, that is just an example. But or even I have seen, in my own situation, my mom just, um, so into OCD, like cleaning the house, keeping it, she's just so carried away into that for years together, absolutely clean. And, for a small thing also, she was just, and in some parts of me also became like that. That comes in the next mirror. So these things suddenly, you run into your friend or someone, instead of being just always about cleaning. I mean, it's good to organize, it's good to clean, it's good but then when there is no balance, it becomes like an addiction. That's when it is a problem. And then suddenly you run into somebody, especially in my case, it happened when I started 4 5 years ago, this meditation journey. Reading books is something, I kind of lost. I was always in action, doing something. Yes, I was reading, learning new things in the work, but it's always just some technology, some books, career related, career growth, these, um, uh, through different, webinars or all these. But calmly, peacefully, just sitting and reading a book, in a nice, in the backyard. I used to do that a long time ago, but then this whole being in action, always doing something, organized, clean, raising kids, all of this, I just completely lost my forgotten love about reading books, a variety of books, not just some books, a variety of books. That peacefulness that I used to get, I completely lost with this addiction of. I used to think, oh, I don't have time. Or as soon as I sit down, I used to cover myself with that deep down one. Whenever somebody, how come you have time? You can read instead of. But I used to like, when do I have time to do that? I used to resist myself inside. Somewhere deep down it is, but it connects back through when you meet someone, you're forgotten, you realize that, um, uh, through someone, it reflect back. The more conscious about your patterns, then it comes back to you, or you be aware of it. And this mirror actually reminds us about that obsessive behavior, or you carried away with life. So this life actions, or a situation, or a challenging situation, or maybe, or could be through people. It reminds us to fall back into our right pattern again. So the healing comes from the self-love and forgiveness, and when you got over your resistance towards that, it just comes back. It fills our consciousness again. So I think we can go 5. Reflection of the mother and father patterns. We often, unconsciously replay the patterns we learned from our parents or caregivers, whether good or bad. You know, that relationships can be rerun until we notice. You know, actually, we attract. Even which I heard. We attract our spouse also somehow. Some patterns of our own parents or mother or father patterns is what. And that's really true. I wasn't aware until I, living through that. My dad used to be, very more or less. He never says no to anything, but it doesn't mean that he really fulfills that. But he immediately makes you happy. He never says no about that. I only realized that later with my husband. lot of times, oh my God, he's exactly like my dad. Somewhere deep down, I always used to think before my marriage, I want somebody like that. Somebody, I don't know how, what quality also. There are some things that I don't like, which also repeated with my dad, but then I was like, what? This is something, these patterns, repeat. I was just really, when I noticed that some of the things, it was really very connecting when you connect back to your patterns about childhood and about your father and mother, what you want to be, or those patterns, whether you like it or not. Some things will repeat. Some things you carry within yourself that reflects, again, that you only notice when it reflects back to with your closed ones, with your close ones, loved ones. So, um, this one thing definitely, the my husband never says no to anything. Doesn't mean that it will happen, but still, that immediately it makes you happy. It doesn't make you resist or anything. It just makes you, happy. That is something I learned myself, that I don't have to say immediately no. It's just one example I'm giving. It's not about, saying no or yes to the situations or anything, but that is something repeated. I saw the pattern, what in my dad, just repeated through my husband. So that is also something. So when you really notice same thing, you with the kids also. And then the other mirror is a quest for darkness, or this is what the mirror, um, it actually, the mirror, what it teaches us, I will just read this one first. Reflections of your deepest wounds, fears, or inner darkness. These relationships force growth and evolution. So what is that? This actually, this mirror, in a simple way, what it teaches in our life is there are two sides of the coin. Life is not just always about the success, about only happy being, there are other things too, the other side of which we don't realize, the inner, um, the only way you learn that you accept these, or you take that as a learning opportunity and grow and transform, is only through a challenging situation. The things that the challenging situations in our life happen, um, only to prove the only to prove our inner potential. It reflects on your deepest wounds or fears that you have, the deepest fear which you never even realized. Only what is you're fearful of, whether it could be very small or or big. That inner darkness is somewhere deep down in our subconscious or unconscious mind. It's deep down in there, and it only comes through a challenging situation when you confront. But then you will change that. You realize when that it only proves you the mastery in your life, it throws. But when you drop your own constructs about that, when you understand deep down that this is the emotion, or this is the fear inside me buried for so long, is what is to get over that, is where I came into this situation, or I came into this challenging challenge in my life. I hit this wall because of something it is teaching me in my life. When you drop that constructs in your own mind, then you just simple example. I mean, I don't know if it is the real. This is how I understood. For a long time, I worked for only one company for a very long time. Like in IT, usually, people change, to learn things. But I worked for almost 18, 20 years in the same one, and I never want to get out of that. I want to retire even, at some point in the last years of my after I got laid, I realized only after I got laid off. Um, I put a strong attachment, with that company for something, that fear of I don't want to, change, or deep down my fear is I don't know how to, whether I could be comfortable, whether I can work at any other place, or something, that deepest, that attachment or the fear of, a change. Fear of change is something, I thought for years together I was in the same one. But I only understood that it only, uh, that situation only came to me to make me even more resilient. I got over. Now I don't have attachment anymore with anything. I was, after that, I changed it 5 years back or 6 years back. I changed it from that company. It's only like that deepest fear of the change, fear of change is completely gone in me. And it's a beautiful story. And I don't know. I reflected back only after I had this understanding of it. I connected back to my situation. Actually, when I was going through, I have no idea about this one. So there are so many deep wounds about, a fear of something, a fear of losing someone, fear of all of these fears. Is just this mirror. When you understand the situation, not see that challenge as a challenge. It only helping us, that challenges in life only helping us to drop our own constructs in our own constructs in our mind. And then when we understand that, we can easily get over and transform ourselves into to transform and being into flow into the life, acceptance of the life. Otherwise we live as victims of that, that victims of that the darkness inside us, which we don't even realize until we have that type of a challenge. Okay. And then the last mirror is about um, self-perception. We see we others reflect our greatness before we see it. Seeing divine in others awakens it in us. So most of the time our self perception is what, when we our perception about something is what is uh, defines us rather than about the other person, right? We think our how we perceive others is what the reflection of our own self. What we think, it defines us, not actually the others. So the sometimes, I can explain very easily this one. The way people treat you often, matches how you treat yourself, or how you perceive yourself. If you see yourself as unworthy, um, others might reflect in that back, without realizing it. That self-love is what this mirror teaches. The perception about ourselves first, rather than we think that our perceptions about others is about them, but it is actually about the quality, the attributes within us is what we are reflecting back in others. It's very, sometimes but others see that potential in us, but we have to accept, we have to see, when they're seeing us like this, means it is about them, that they're seeing us like a great, worthy, or, sometimes a simple one. You brush, sometimes, and oh, you brush off compliments, and eventually people stop giving them. you know it's okay to accept, it's okay to be, yes, you deserve it. That thing, you deserve it, is what is, you have to understand that I deserve it. A lot of time, for a long time, I didn't even think that. I always, as a hardworking, when things come to me, also I was not able to accept it that easily. Do I deserve it? I question myself. Do I really deserve this expensive one to enjoy? It took me a long time, even when I get things, to accept it and then enjoy about the things that I got. So it is about my own perception about the things or situations, rather than, when it happens, you have to first feel the self-love and worthiness yourself. That's what this mirror teaches, about the self perception about others, and the perception about your own, you know it made me realize that it is not about others, it is about my own perception, which is defining me, which is being reflected in others. So these are the 7 beautiful mirrors. I don't know if I explained in the that make sense, but I tried. So I will read this and end, and we'll go into meditation. Life is a mirror, and meditation is the polish that makes the reflection clear. I really loved this quote, so that's why I want to share with all of you.